It's Friday, and it's time to do a super cook. Alright everybody, so it's Friday evening, and I've been requested to cook a bunch of food for a big party tomorrow. And we started off with a brisket, but now we're going to add wings and 2 pork shoulders to the cook. So, step number 1, give yourself a beverage, stay hydrated. And we're getting the grill warmed up for the wings, number 1, because the wings are going to be eaten tonight. So just to show you how I get my cooks heated up, I put some large pieces of coal around a wax cube, starter cube, and I get that fired up in the middle. And now I'm going to layer some charcoal and pieces of wood around it, put my setter in there, plate setter, put my racks in, lower the air intake and the daisy chain on the top, let it come to temp, and I'm going to put the wings on. Alright, so let me show you what we got. We got some wingies. These are whole wings, and they are super simple. It's just Jeff's rub, which I linked to on the website and underneath the video, mixed with just Frank's Red Hot sauce overnight in a baggie. That's what you got. So I'm just gonna throw these up on the grill and get these going. Probably take like an hour and a half or so, and I'll get them on the grill and then see what they look like. Alright, we got wingy dingies on the grill. Check it out. Temperature's coming up, almost 225. Let me show you what we got. Alright, we got the top rack going, bottom rack going. Super simple. Frank's Red Hot sauce, barbecue rub mix overnight. When it's done, we will put it on the grill and crisp the skins once it gets up to temp. So it's probably take an hour and a half. I'll flip these in about 45 minutes, do the other side, and that's it. Until then, oh yeah, I'm using hickory wood chunks, and staying hydrated. Check back in about 45 minutes, mofos. Rambo loves that smell. Alright, so it's been about 45 minutes. Let's see what we got here. Color's looking good. Juicy. So we're gonna flip these and then let them cook for another 45 minutes or so. Then we'll put them on the grill. Alright, so let me show you what we got working with today. 3 huge pieces of meat. So check this out. That there is 18 pounds of USDA prime brisket for 66 bucks, which is a good price on the East Coast. Believe it or not, brisket is expensive as and then we also have a double boneless pork butt, 14.24 pounds that we're gonna cook. So first up, we're gonna trim the brisket down, get that going. We got our rockin' 50-50 coarse ground black pepper with kosher salt. That's a rub. So we're gonna trim this down, get it rubbed up. down. Anything too much of that on there, it'll just stay fatty and won't render down. So you want to get like 1/4 of an inch thick at the most. Alright, so I've finished trimming the fat off this thing, and there was a ton of fat. There's more fat than I've ever seen on a brisket, so it took me quite a while. I'll show you how much we have left over. So I'm using mustard as a slather, and then I have 50-50 mix of coarse black pepper and kosher salt. And this is the opposite side of fat cap. And this was 1/2 cup of rub. So now we're going to do the other side. And now we're going to let that sit while we prepare the next piece of meat. Alright, so now I'm doing the pork shoulders. These are a little easier to manage, and I don't need to trim the fat. All the fat on a pork shoulder will render down to an edible consistency. So I'm not even going to trim these. I just pat these dry with paper towel, and then I'll put slather on them, and then let them rest while I finish up the chicken wings on the grill. So just like we did for the brisket, we're going to slather these up with yellow mustard to give something to rub something to stick to. They're pretty wet already, so you don't really need that much. And then I have this, my rub in my shaker. What I do is I usually mix up a few cups of the rub, and then I freeze it, and then I let it thaw out, you know, like an hour before I need it, and then I have plenty to use for a couple months. And I keep it in the freezer in a baggie. So just like we did for the brisket, we're shaking the rub on. We're gonna keep this pretty thick. Try and get it in all the crevices. It's got a lot of paprika in it, a little bit of sugar, a bunch of other stuff that you normally see in rubs. I'm gonna get on the inside too here. Since it's boneless, that's opened up in the middle. So for 2 pork shoulders, I used about a cup of rub. you have it. You got your brisket, salt and pepper, Texas style. And we got our pork butts. And now we're going to check on the wings, which should be just about done. And then let these sit for a little bit. And we're going to get these on the smoker, and then it's going to be a long night. Alright, so the temperature is rising. The wings are done. And I'm going to transfer these to the gas grill and crisp them up. Normally I would do this on my big green egg, but I need it to stay a low temperature, so I don't want to get it fired up real hot. So we're going to use the gas grill so I can get the gas grill hot and just turn it off after I crisp the skins up and get the big pieces of meat on the big green egg. Oh yeah, look at that. So we will let these bad boys cook. And then, in the meantime, we will put the big hunk of meat on here. Maybe throw a couple more wood chunks in. Check back in when I get the big meat on. Whew. So we're back after running around quite a bit and scrambling. Whenever I'm transferring the raw meat onto the grill, it's always a lot of running around, cleaning up, bleaching everything, disinfecting. And while I was doing that, I left the wings on the grill too long and burnt them a little bit. So we're going to check on them and see if they're still good to eat or if they're a lost cause in the massive cook we have going on. So rookie move. I put the wings on the grill while I was doing something else. Whenever you put something on a hot grill, you got to keep an eye on it. Like, don't leave it, which, fail. So, here's what we have. We have a large brisket on the bottom and 2 pork butts on the top. It just fits. The big green egg can fit 18 inches, and the brisket I trimmed to exactly 18 inches. So it's close call. So just fits. So I have my trusty Maverick here, the Ready Check wireless thermometer. So it has number 1 there. I don't know if you can see this. Number 1 is set to a high of 202 degrees, and number 2 is set to a range of 200 and 280 degrees. So the temperature of the grill goes below 200 or goes above 280, this will beep and warn me. And if my meat gets to within 10 degrees of 202 degrees, it will beep. Now I'm going to keep an eye on it. The main thing I want to see is that the temperature of the smoker doesn't get too hot or get too low. So I know that it's going to take a really long time for the brisket to get up to temp. So I'm looking for the brisket to get through the stall, which is usually around 170 degrees for me. And then I'll wrap it in butcher paper, and then I'll wrap the pork butts in foil. So now we have a long cook. I'm going to go check on those wings, which were looking a little burnt. And see how they taste. And then, Evan, what's up? Playing hockey?
Not anymore.
Who'd you want to win, the Blues or the Bruins?
Blues.
Blues? Well, I guess you're happy they won, huh? Not the Flyers, though, unfortunately. Flyers stink. So we'll let this cook for a while. We'll go check on the wings, and I'll show you the result. All right, here's what we got for wings. Not as bad as I thought. Little charred, juicy though. They look charred on the ends here, where there's the ends of the wings. So you see the end of that wing is charred, but the actual meat part It's only got a little bit of char on it. See that? So the skin is crispy, but it didn't burn the meat. So let's see what we got. Mmm. Perfect. Wings are good. Banging. Check back on the big pieces later. Hey, what's up everybody? Checking back in. Day number 2 of the big cook. And it is now about 10:30 a.m. the following day. I started this cook around, I don't know what time it was. 8 o'clock, maybe, p.m. So it's been 14 hours about that I've been cooking. So this morning, the first pork butt finished, and so I've had that on warm and hold in the oven on foil. The other pork butt is currently reading, let's see here, 187 degrees. So in about 10 degrees of temperature rise, I'll pull that one and put it in the warm and hold. I'll probably take another hour and a half or so. And I've just pulled the brisket out to check it. So
Let's go to bed.
Last night I've wrapped this in butcher paper. And I wrapped the pork butt in foil. And I added some apple juice to the pork butt. I didn't feel like taking video. It was late at night and I was trying to go to sleep.
Sorry. Why are we stuck in the bed?
Kids are playing Minecraft.
Oh, wait.
See what happens? Your kids, when they get sucked into video games, don't eat their lunch. And they talk about Minecraft all day. So here's what I'm doing. I'm prodding the flat here. So this flat is coming in and out like butter.
I did it.
So
That's my dog. I know it's killing me.
even the point is
Why was it killing me?
in and out like butter. So I'm gonna put this in my warm and hold in the oven, and then I'm gonna put it in a cooler for about 2 hours when I go to leave to drive about 2 hours away to serve the food. So everything's looking really good. So we'll try and get some pictures when we serve the food up. For now, I just gotta wait for the one pork butt to finish, and then I'm probably gonna make a finish sauce with apple cider vinegar, brown sugar, salt and pepper, Tony, I forget what it's called. It's in here somewhere. There you go. Tony Kachiri's, I don't know how you pronounce it. We put that in the finishing sauce, and then with some vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and then it cuts the fat of the pulled pork. And the beef will just cut it up and serve it as is. Beef doesn't need anything, just salt and pepper and beefy goodness. So I'll try and put some pictures at the end of the video to give you an idea of what the finished product looks like. For now, this is what we got. So you can get an idea of the brisket.
Drop my stuff, okay? Oh, actually, yeah.
The color isn't super barky. It's not really barky because I cooked the pork butts on top of the brisket, so they were dripping on the brisket. So it didn't get a chance to get really crusty on the outside, except for the edges. So I'll wrap this back up in butcher paper. I'm gonna put it on a tray in my warm and hold, which is around 200 degrees, and then I'm gonna put it in a cooler and then drive 2 hours to where I gotta go, and then it'll rest in the cooler. So everything's looking good, smells delicious in here, and I'm not sure if I'll get more video or not before the party, but that's the product. I'll take one more video of the pork butt when I check on that. So I'll check back in like an hour. Alright, so I check on the pork butt. The internal temp in one spot is a little low, but overall it's really tender. So let me show you what I got here. That is a little more it needs. That's like butter. Butter. A little tough. I'm gonna let this cook a little more. You can see it's falling apart, but I want these parts to be more tender here. So we're gonna let that cook a little longer. You know what? No, I'm just gonna put it on warm and hold, and it'll finish cooking. The temperature's gonna keep rising, so it's good enough. So
Go under the water.
I'm gonna put everything on warm and hold now, and then put it all in a cooler in a couple hours.
Let's go back.
We have window units too,
Oh, okay.
and I'll wear a sweater.
Look at that. Juicy. Looking good. Big fat ring in there.